Well, hello, we're going to talk about building, sewing, creating face masks. As we all know, with this coronavirus mess, just so much shortage of supplies everywhere. So our local hospital asked us to make surgical masks or masks. Some of them worn over N95 masks, some of them we worn in, as is. And what they wanted to use was this surgical fabric. This material is most often used to wrap instruments as they go into the autoclave for sterilization. And then when they come out, the material is generally disposed of. In this case, however, they are recycled material. You'll notice on this one, for example, this labels what type of instruments were in it. This tape where it was all folded and taped together. So they go into the autoclave. So coming out of the autoclave, this stuff is very clean. So there's not a concern there. We also have gotten some fresh materials, new materials that they've given to us to produce the masks with. And so, yeah, this is typically a double material. Sometimes it's blue on blue. This is blue on pink. We have some blue on teal. And we just want to try to turn this into something useful to them, whether it's the recycled material like this or the new material like I'd previously been using. I don't have an example of that right off. And so this is the trick, this is the trick. These things need to be double faced. In other words, the actual mouth covering portion needs to have 2 layers of fabric. And we'll show you how those 2 layers of fabric come together when we start sewing. The primary part of the mask that covers the face is a 7 by 7.5 inch square. I made this wooden template. I like to do that, it just makes things a bit quicker. And so we'll just set it on here, and I should have that glove on, and we'll just cut right through, and there you have it. Now look, those along this near edge to me are already put together. You'll notice that there's a seam where these things have not been sewn but rather melted together. This is a polypropylene based breathable polymer fabric. So that's how they're able to just melt these 2 together. So so this row along the bottom, when you make those, right, it's very simple. They're already put together, so one less seam to have to sew. We'll cut another one here that shows what would happen if you don't have them sealed together like those. And so it comes out like this. In this case, though, they're just 2 loose pieces of fabric, and also because of that, we can mix and match them. We can have pink inside and outside, blue inside and outside, whatever you want to do. Mix and match them. Make your fashion statements you see fit. Excuse me. And so, yeah, that's how we start out making the 7 by 7.5. Again, using our template here and our razor wheel. So, what does it look? What else do we need? Well, here's some examples. These were cut off of obviously some fabric that was blue, same blue, and then a teal color. And so what you do is you'll need to cut out your 7 by 7.5 inch squares. Then you need to take a sheet, and in this case we'll turn it and we'll strip it in 1 inch strips. So once those 1 inch strips were cut, you'd end up with something that looked like this, and those are good to go. Now we don't need them to still be together. This does not need to be double, just a single pass of fabric for the ties. And so what we generally do, like I said, these are about 1 inch strips, full length of the fabric. And so then what we do is we just get our razor knife again, and I just line them up and run them over. Cut off those ends so that they'll just be loose. Check and make sure you have the length that's adequate, but generally cut along the longest length of the fabric. You probably have more than enough fabric for what you need. So again, we've got some teal strips, some blue strips, We've got some, blue fabric, pink fabric. We also have some teal fabric like this over there. So literally, you can get creative if you want to and mix and match. I mean, literally, we could do, pink on the outside with the blue strip around it. We could pink on the outside with the teal strip around it. Whatever you want to do. But we'll make a couple. We'll make one at least. We'll talk about, probably make two, show you the quick difference between when they're stuck together and when they're not. But we won't take long. We'll cut to the chase. So let's get to sewing, see what we can do. All right. Well, first let's talk about equipment. Yeah, I'm a guy, and yeah, I know how to use a sewing machine. To me, it's the only power tool in my house that has an accelerator pedal on it, and for that, I love it. It's useful to me. I use it to make anything, machine covers for my welding machines. I've made camo bags for my hunting, and now we're making these masks for our hospital in this COVID crisis. So, it's just another tool. It's just you're building something. I was welding metal. Thinks people would feel differently, but because we're sewing fabric, they think it's somehow different. Still production, still creating something, and so I find enjoyment in it. And I'm old enough that I just dare you to try to take my man card. I'm not worried. So this is that piece we said is melted together. So there's no need to put a bottom seam in it. Now you can seam the bottom of it. We will, just to show you how it works. But you can, normally if you have two loose pieces, right, we would just seam them together, make one piece out of it. In this case, it's one piece, but I don't like this unfinished edge down here. So I will roll it over and sew a seam down it. I think we will make one that is pink exterior with blue straps. Do whatever we want to do with the extent of with the materials that you have. Also, here is the teal. This is also one of the end pieces, right? And this is the teal and blue. This is the pink and blue, and then some of them just come blue and blue. So you'll get what you get when you get the fabric. Don't ask me where to get this. I've been asked where somebody can find this. The only place I know is at the hospital, and this hospital donated these materials so that we could use them to make them masks. So, all right, so let's get started. I said I want to make the pink on the exterior. So what we're going to do first, we're going to sew a small hem on the bottom. There's not a specific dimension that's required here. You can go along and measure it if you want to. You can go along and pin it if you want to. I don't want to. So what I generally do is just set it, put the presser foot down on it, line it up, and then off I go. I do a couple of back stitches, and then keep my line fairly straight and go to town. I'll take another couple back steps, and there we go. So the first hem is in here. Now if this piece wasn't melted together as we discussed, we'd have done the same thing, and it would have achieved the same goal. We still have one piece of fabric made from it. So there we go. The bottom hem is in. Now the top hem is also the nose piece. So we need a piece of wire in here to form the nose piece. We've been using two options in our group. There's a group of people with me making up here, but we're a group that are making these for the hospital. So this is training wire. I should have picked up the roll, but the roll says garden training wire. This wire is used to train, there we go, to train grapes or any type of climbing plant. You can use this to train those up. Now, the key here is that it has it's pretty flexible and holds a reasonable shape. Ultimately, whatever you use, test it. Make sure it works. Make sure it holds its shape. If you get too thin a wire, yeah, maybe it'll bend, but then it just comes back towards straight, and it reduces the effectiveness. So the other option, by the way, that's a 6-inch piece of training wire. The other option is this is a 12-inch pipe cleaner. And what we do, we just fold it in half. Some people twist it. Just fold it in half. It's all you need to do. And so we'll show you that next. So we need to sew something for that. Now some people will tell you, put the pipe cleaner in there, wrap it around, sew it up. I don't bother with such, just, more difficult to handle. So I just created a seam, or a hem rather, that I feel like is going to be big enough to stick that thing in there. And after practice and time, you know pretty much how big that has to be. So we're going to back step it. And you notice my dimensions. I am not measuring this stuff out. This is about production. This is about getting volumes, making as many as you can reasonably make in effective time, assuming that you make them with excellence. They need to be good. So here we go. That's what I say. It's got an accelerator pedal, so I love it. As fast as I can go is my preferred speed. So now we have this pocket made to fit our either training wire, garden training wire, or in this case we're using we're going to use pipe cleaner. So you see the pocket. Nice. The other thing too, you can coordinate colors on your thread. I don't. That's all too much for me. So we put the pipe cleaner in. Come in here a little bit and spread it out till it's toward the middle. I just check the two ends, make sure it's there. All right, what's next? Next thing we're going to do is pleat it. Pleating it's not hard. It takes a few minutes. Do it once or twice. You get it real quick. So ultimately, we need some pleats in it. We want those pleats to be, this is the top. This is the nose piece, right? And this is the part that's going to bend around your nose, around their nose. And so we want the pleats to be, come on now, in that direction. I'm not going to make it pretty. I'm just going to. So the pleats need to be in that direction, down, right? So what I do is I find where I want it in the fabric and I create a pleat, just like that. Now, in order to be consistent, I want to make sure my pleat overlaps the same amount. What I use is the actual wonder clips that I'm going to use to hold it. If it's about that amount, just perfect. Does it matter? Not terribly, but that gives me a point of consistency, somewhere from which I can consistently set about the same dimension. Again, it's about the size of my clip. Sometimes it gets to be, a little off, and that's okay. You can straighten it up. So, no measurements, no fancy nothing. Just do it. So we're going to do the next one here. Start on this end. All right, about the right overlap. Good to go. All right, and again, about the right overlap. This probably takes more time than a lot of the rest of it does, but you just want it to look nice. There's not any specific dimensions. Now, there it is. So it's ready. It's pleated top. Pleats are this way. So you think of it like this. Rain would not fall in it, right? It would shed rain. And then this is how it would open up on the face. And so we're going to leave it just like that. Now, to hold this thing pleated, we're going to drop a seam down each side. And that seam I want to keep close to the edge. You'll see why. But when we put ultimately when we put the straps on this thing, get my thread to cooperate. Once we put the straps down the side, it'll cover up that seam. So I keep that seam fairly far over, and I just kind of have some lines that I tend to use that work for me. So just whatever works for you. Once you've done one or two of these things, it'll get there quick. So just take off the first wonder clip. Take off the second wonder clip. Again, I'm holding this down with my fingers. It goes beside the presser foot. And this is the only seam that really doesn't matter if it's terribly straight, because it will not be seen again, as long as it's not so crooked that it goes outside the realm of the outside the area covered by the straps. So got that side done. We'll do this side the same. All right. so there we go. Basically, the face portion of the mask is done. Now we just need to secure it to the head by putting some straps on it. It's the part I don't like the most. So, in order to put the straps on, again, this is the top. Here's your pleats. That's how it's going to be when you put it on you and you stretch it. This goes under the chin, this over the nose, and it just widens it out for you, but it still keeps it narrow on the sides, narrower. So I picked 2 straps. I don't have COVID, by the way. I have allergies. So I got 2 straps. What I want to do is find the middle of the strap. Middle of the strap, middle of the strap. Get this right. All right. So, middle of the strap, middle of the mask. So, just guess at it, right? So here's my middle of the strap. I just hold it like this, and we'll call it close, okay? We've got more than enough tie strap out here that you're not going to run short on one side if it's slightly off center. But just for the sake of producing an excellent product, we want to try to make it as good as possible. So what I'm doing here is I'm basically lining up the tie material and then clip it on there. I like to clip one in the middle, make sure it's reasonably straight, and then off you go. So you start on one end. Make sure you fold it the right way, right? So it needs to be folded this way. If you accidentally, now I won't say I've ever done this, but maybe I have, you accidentally fold it the wrong way, and you get started on there and you get up here and realize, oh, nope, that's wrong. No problem, just unclip it, turn it around and go again. It's not a big deal. You've not wasted your seam or your time, much time anyway. So we fold it in half, put it on here. Again, you know, I've got my mental guide, and right now I'm using the inside the presser foot right there, and right there's that slot. That's what I'm lining up on. The nice thing is it can make you some nice long straight seams, and yeah, to me it's meaningful that it's straight and nice. And now I'm probably going to mess it all up, so here we go. Okay, every once in a while I'll get a good grip, a new grip, fresh grip. Okay, Wonder clip is off. You notice I'm not using pins. I have to run over all the time. It makes me kind of crazy. I use them where I have to, but anyway, I can use Wonder clips. I love that. Pins really get my goat. Here we go. Okay, and we'll do the second half. Again, try to get out here a ways and stretch it out. There we go. And so it takes a lot of that, but if you get a good system, you can run this thing pretty much max out. I would like to increase the horsepower on this thing so we could get more done quickly. But apparently that's a guy thing. So let's lock our stitch, and one strip is done. And so we'll trim off the other end. Like I said, not my favorite part of this whole game. There we go. All right, so one side of the mask is done with the strip. Now we just have to do the exact same thing on the other side. Straightforward and easy, quick and easy. You can literally make one of these in 12 minutes, or at least I can, on a good day. If I'm not having to fill my bobbin or replace my thread or something else in the middle of it all, which happens quite frequently. So here's my center. Put it about the center of the mask, real close anyway. Let's put a clip here just to hold it. And then we'll line up our two sides. Again, we're looking to make sure that the strap, whatever you want to call this thing, is going to end up, nice, clean, and even right there. And then we'll just put a clip on it down here. Do the same thing on this end. Again, making sure the strap is even. I tend to take out the center clip for a minute. Come on, guys. Oop, that didn't work. And clip it down far enough. So again, we'll get it lined up. Sorry, I gotta lay it down. So we got it lined up. And just put the clip on. And then in the middle here, I tend to just hold the clip on, or the strap on, like that. There we go. So, start from this end. Same deal all over again. To the mask. You'll hear that needle load up. I mean, it's a pretty thick in places right here where this folds are. Do me a favor, if you do this, be sure and check with your customer, whoever you're making these for. But for medical applications, they like it. They like the face portion double thickness. But others might just as soon it not be double thickness. So, just check with who you're sewing them for. We made a bunch of them that were single thickness that, well, they're now being used for other things because the hospital came back communicated that we needed doubles. So, no problem. They're going to use. They're just not going to use with their original intention at the hospital. So, no sweat. We're just here to serve. Here we go. All the way to the end. All right, let's run it through and finish it up. Okay, so it is done. One of a whole bunch. Now there's a lot of other mask types out there. It's of course cloth and various and sundry. I think the biggest challenge with this whole deal is actually acquiring the material. And like I said, in our case, it was given to us by the hospital. Of course, they have plenty of the stuff. Makes sense. But otherwise, maybe a doctor's office, maybe a friend at a hospital could get it for you. So here's the front, top. So this part goes on. Let's see if I can get you in the shot here. So this part goes on here, holds over the nose, so it holds the shape of the bridge of the nose. And then this part comes under, and of course the straps go around back. Tie the bottom one first, and then tie the top one, and you can go back and adjust the bottom one. There it is. So the nose piece is very, very relevant. The pleats, very relevant in order for it to function correctly. We need to be able to hold it close by like that, and then we also need to be able to pull it down under the chin while it's still up on the nose of the bridge, bridge of the nose. So that's it. I hope it's helpful. There are many other videos out there showing how to do this one. I've changed a few things up. I think made it a little bit faster for me, and I'm kind of neurotic about speed. Let's go, let's go. And so, mix and match, colors you want, have fun. Thanks for watching. If you think about it, rate, comment, subscribe, like the video so that we can get more clicks. And we appreciate it. And I hope this is useful to you, and I hope you'll find a way to make this useful to somebody else and make their day a bit better in this difficult time.